So there's a little bit of confusion going on in the National Football League. Adam Schefter sent out a tweet, I think a couple of weeks ago, saying that the target date, and it might have been around the NFL draft, but he said the target date for the NFL to release their schedule, the big schedule release show they do, was going to be this Thursday coming up on the 11th. Well, you go and look around and search around, and there's no real clarity. You go to NFL.com, and there's like a page dedicated to the schedule release, but there's no real information there. It just says, stay tuned and come back for further details. And then Peter King reported that over the weekend, Peter King was told that there were concerns regarding the completion of the schedule by the deadline. And there's a possibility that it could still be ready in time, but there's uncertainty, and it raises questions about the league's ability to deliver as promised. So
wow.
We're 4 days.
Wow.
So we're 4 days
wow.
away from the schedule release, and they don't have it done yet? What am I missing here? What have they been doing?
I think when you factor in the difficulties of the Aaron Rodgers trade just got finalized a couple weeks ago, right? And they've got these international games that are probably harder to figure out than most realize. Because, a player like that going to the Jets without Aaron Rodgers might be a 1 or 2 primetime playoff game team. Now there are 5. They'll have 5 primetime games. That changes around wherever you put them, whether it's a Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, however else you sprinkle that in. And then I think it also impacts how those games are looked at in the 4 o'clock windows. Like, whether people realize this, the 4 o'clock Sunday window is the biggest window for viewing. It used to be prime time, used to be Sunday night. It's not anymore. I don't think at any point it really was Monday night, even though it's prime time. It definitely hasn't been Thursday night. But that 4 p.m. window, when there's maybe only a couple of games on, but like the entire country is getting either on CBS or Fox, one of those major brands in the NFL, that's going to outrate a lot of other games, even in prime time. So figuring that out is a lot more difficult than people realize, especially when you have a superstar move, relatively close to the release. Then you factor in what the Saints and Patriots are playing in Germany. You've got other games in London and everything else, and how you go about figuring that out. Teams have the option to choose to have a bye after their London trip, So there's just a lot of moving parts to it. Now, to your point, I would assume the schedule makers, so it was Howard Katz, I think is who from the NFL does it, that you would have multiple renditions of this. Like, we would have a schedule where if Aaron Rodgers is a Jet, and if Aaron Rodgers decides to play back with the Packers, or if Aaron Rodgers is even with the San Francisco 49ers, that was like a report, right? They were interested.
Yeah.
You would have all those different variations of a schedule, and you kind of go from there. But there could be some moving parts in regards to like an international game. Hey, in Germany, we're trying to look at this venue at this time. Oh, there's a big Oktoberfest deal going on, so you can't use the facilities at that time or something. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Like, there's just so many things that I think are involved in deciding some of this that it's probably not quite as easy as we think in our heads.
They also pointed out.
I feel like they already have it done.
You think they got it done?
Yeah, I just think that it just furthers the entertainment value of it to allow for leaks like that to come out. Like, yes, that everything that you're saying, Q, I believe to be accurate. But for that to say, well, that we're this close to the announcement and that's what's scheduled, how long do you think that they're working on the schedules in advance? I mean, let's be clear. There's probably a great length that the people who do the schedule making run the information, all the data and all those things for quite some time.
Here's the issue with that. So much like even in college football, where there's rights to certain conferences, and then they have essentially a draft based on who has priority each week, who has priority throughout the season, and who has priority each week. So it's going to be very similar in the sense with Fox and CBS, and you've seen some of the games too that I think they've kind of swapped at times. Mm-hmm. So that stuff happens. So what potentially could happen is, because they want to announce the TV times along with this, is the TV partners are still going back and forth with swapping out some games.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that stuff, like, I'll be fully transparent. This is going on right now in college football. It'll take till the end of May before some of this stuff is sorted out. And even then it won't be finalized.
It could still change, huh?
Yeah, it could still change where you get into the season and you have what's called a 6-day pick, a 12-day pick, where one of the networks has the top pick, and then they don't tell their broadcast crew until, whatever time that is. That stuff happens for sure in college football. In the NFL, it's a little more scheduled and regimented, and you kind of have more of an idea of when those games are. But you could have the chance where Fox and CBS say, we're going to swap these games.
Wasn't the Penn State-Purdue game originally supposed to be the ESPN game? And was that part of the Joe Buck-Troy Aikman trade?
A lot of people didn't know that, but that was part of Joe Buck going to Monday Night Football with Troy Aikman because he was under contract.
Wow.
Fox got in return of Joe Buck as part of the trade, the Penn State-Purdue game that kicked off last year's season in West Lafayette.
How about that, LaVar? We Are is the reason that deal was able to be completed.
By the way,
and we
hell of a game. I mean, it came down to the final minutes.
Yeah, we went up in there and tried to pull it out. You know what I mean?
Took care of business.
You did, yeah. I mean, it was you guys were winning.
That's right.
Clifford throws a pick six, which subsequently the DB who picked it off ended up throwing up on the sidelines, which was quite a sight to see in person.
Did he really?
Yeah, and then Clifford drives the team down the field. I believe he hit the back out of the backfield like on an all-out pressure, flipped it to him for a touchdown to go back up in front.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the Sean Clifford experience.
By the way, do you see Sean Clifford's got Aaron Rodgers' spot in the Packers locker room now?
That's right.
Like, I mean, the body's not even cold, and they already roll in Sean Clifford.
Hey, that's my St. X guy right there, man. That's that Ohio blood.
They're the same age, you know.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
show that respect.
That is true. Yeah. Respect your elders.
Respect.
Now, also one of the this was Mike Florio put this out as far as the NFL schedule goes. That the NFL's been trying to figure out solutions. Again, it's supposed to be launched in 4 days, but we're still working on solutions. And he says, a team of computers has been working to generate various alternatives offering potential solutions to the scheduling conundrum. The league is determined to provide fans with an exciting and competitive season, but it seems that unexpected challenges have arisen. So you mean to tell me, like, there's artificial intelligence, you got cars that can drive themselves, but computers can't figure out how many times they want to show the Titans on national TV?
Well, they're
Come on, man.
They're basically telling the people, the living organisms, us, that what you want isn't what you're getting. The AI is saying, listen, man, this is the game that we were trying to tell you. And we're like, no, we don't want that game. But we're trying to tell you that this is the game. No, we don't want that game. We don't want that matchup. That's what it sounds like. AI is saying something that's higher intelligence of what the game is supposed to be, and the people who are looking at it and running it, they're like, hell no, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Well, I mean, it is reported, though, for those Germany games, and I don't know if this is going to interfere with Oktoberfest or not, but it is reported.
Are we going?
To Germany?
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
You said let's go.
Oh, man,
yeah.
I'm
all for it. I've already put the request in with Scott and Don, and I think they're,
Let's all go. Hey, we'll catch a Rammstein concert when we're out there. Why not?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Hey, when in Rome,
no.
Let's go.
But that's not Rome.
We're actually in Rome.
Yeah, whatever. Hamburg. Who cares? Point is, we're going to have Saints. I believe Saints Patriots is one of the games, and the Matt Nagy revenge game, Chiefs Bears, is the other game scheduled.
And that's
Germany.
real. That's not artificial. There's real drama when you're talking about those teams squaring off and the history behind them.
Great point.